espero que nadie se ofenda, pero hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Só nós sentimos assim. Por muitos desgostos que possamos ter, valores mais altos se levanta. O valor mais alto que se levanta em termos futebolísticos chama-se Benfica.
Welcome, good evening to episode 48, Super Gil and Super League. It's been an eventful weekend, definitely an eventful 24 hours in the world of football, to say the least. Today, we got the regular crew. We got Bill back. Boys, how are we?
Of course.
What's going on?
It's an exciting day to be here.
Today, we'll talk quickly about Benfica's disappointing defeat and the derailment of that goddamn train that I forced Kenny on, and he made me derail the damn train. Talk about that game quickly, and then we will go on to the topic that is trending across the globe, which is the European Super League, what repercussions it may have to the Portuguese league, to football in general. Get your opinions. I think there's a few different perspectives we can look at. It'll be interesting to see kind of what you guys think. And, of course, for those of you watching, we invite you guys to share your thoughts. If you want to join the podcast and jump in, we can share the link with you, and you can join and share your opinion, or you can share your thoughts in the chat as well, and we'll look to cover your comments and your feedback. Starting with Benfica 1, Gil Vicente 2. It was really like Gil Vicente 3 because they scored the goal for us. We'll touch briefly on it. I know that a few of you guys were out doing a few other things, so I think we can just share quickly our opinions on it, and then you guys can add your input as a whole after the fact. A game that was terrible. Benfica started with 3 at the back. Elton Leighton net, Otamendi, Vertonghen, Lucas Veríssimo, Diogo Gonçalves, Tarat, Weigl, Grimaldo, Waldschmidt, Rafa, Seferovic. There were no changes from the lineup that featured against Paços Ferreira. It just looked lethargic, looked not motivated, uninterested. Oscar, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts about that game?
It was an interesting game because we finally played against the full 11, and this is what happens. I thought this was a game we should have won, easily should have won at home. Gil Vicente is not a top team to give us that hard of a time. We had first half, I remember telling you guys, we didn't shoot on net until, 40 minutes into the first half. And then when we shot on net, looked like Seferovic was back to his normal self. I didn't remember Elton late saving one ball other than the 2 goals suffered. It was one of those games, and we just couldn't connect. We could not connect. We didn't do that. We just looked below average. You look like a team that's like, we won 6 in a row, 7 in a row, and that's a performance we show up and lose when we had to win. This team is back to mediocre. That's a team that they got us used to watching this season. It's sad to watch.
Jay, what would you say to that?
I completely agree. I thought that we came out flat. Giving up those goals didn't help, and then we just missed our opportunities. Seth missed a few goals there. It just comes back to a head scratcher, and I can't comprehend how, like Oscar said, how we can come back. We're on a 6-game winning streak. We can come back home and then we lay a goose egg. It's not. I hope this train thing is over. Hope you guys all got off.
100%.
I hope the train crashed somewhere and you guys just hopped off before it went and it blew up because
Kenny forced me to take a bad turn.
Kenny, they were saying that you were on this train, and I was like, I'm not buying it. So
he was. He doesn't want to admit it.
No.
Kenny was tied up to the back.
No,
He was on it. He was tied up
got
to the
loose
back.
and made me take a bad turn, and the fucking train went derailed.
But yeah, I have nothing else to say. I'm just it's just disappointing. I it did have a little hope, and I even did say that I would hop on if we got the results that we needed from the other games. But I don't even know if we're going to get second place. Now we're going to try to at least try to get that Champions League spot.
Let's hope for third.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think that 6 points to get to Porto is still going to be tough. They're going to need help, and Braga is right on our heels too. So they better wake up if they still want that Champions League spot.
That was going to be, since Kenny and Bill, you guys were out doing extracurricular activities, swinging metal beams at little white balls.
Spending our time better than watching Benfica get smashed.
What do you guys think? Having lost, right? Obviously, any hope that I had, and I know you guys secretly had, you just didn't want to admit to it because you don't want to kind of bring yourself up to bring yourself down. I get it. I understand. I'll take the fall for you guys. I'll make myself look silly for you guys. Having lost that game, right? The very little hope of winning a miraculous title goes out the window. Bill, I'll start with you. Do you think that second place is achievable? We're 6 points back. I know we still play Porto. Do you think we have to worry about third place?
Yeah.
Yeah, to what?
To worrying about third place. I mean, it mathematically second's still possible, right? I mean, first technically still possible, but first is gone. Second,
the train's gone. Don't say first place. The train's gone.
Second, I think takes a miracle. Yeah, we still play Porto, but the way we look, does anyone feel confident playing Porto, even if it is at home? I don't at this point. Like, I think the 6-game winning streak, I think goes like a false sense of reality, right? I think the red cards definitely helped in those games.
But that was only 3 out of the 6 games. And
like I said, 3 hardest teams.
Hold on, but all 3 of those games, it was 0-0 at the time of the red card.
Right, and then we played against the 10 guys from the first half.
It just makes the rest of the game easier, right? All first half red cards
but playing against 10 guys doesn't guarantee you a win or a draw.
No, it just makes the game a lot easier.
Kenny, you're muted or something.
Kenny is muted.
Kenny,
you're muted. Check your yeah. No.
Can you hear? No, we can't hear you.
Or is our parents doing FaceTime?
All right, while he figures this stuff out. Yeah, so it was only, of the 6 games, 3 of them we played with an extra man for a certain amount of time. But a red card doesn't guarantee you a win. We struggled against Boavista up a man. Right? But we didn't struggle against
it did help us that we got the red cards wicked early, too.
I agree.
It makes the game easier.
Braga wasn't early.
I'm talking about like Boavista's wicked early. I think even Passos Ferreira must have been. It was like
22nd minute.
Yeah. When was Braga? Braga was in the first half too.
Like 30 something.
Yeah, that's not early. That's first half.
Can you guys hear me now?
60 minutes.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
No, I mean, so I was gonna say you said 3 out of the 6 games we had a red card, but 4 out of the 6 games it was the red card, and that also the PK game that we only won 1-0 because of the PK. So it wasn't just like we just got like it was our little win streak there it's hidden by the advantages that we had. I mean, it's very clear as to why we won those games. And not only the red cards also came in the first half. Like how many games do you ever see a red card in the first half? Not very often. We got 3 in like out of 4. It was just, I think it was like just, those wins were in disguise by that I don't even know.
We had some things go our way. That's what
basically exactly. And I just want to say this. I did miss the podcast last week, and I mean at the end. of the day,
didn't you say you had a statement to make? Let's go. Let's hear it.
Well, I just based on this, right? I've been all along, despite this little win streak, I've been saying that I have not been convinced by Benfica. And this is the reason why. At any point in time, we were going to lose and lose badly. I never believed that we were going to win out in the second half of the season. I did say that there was going to be a string of wins, win streak that we were going to have, and it happened, right, with some help. But if you go look back at the last, 10, 12 games, or actually since Arsenal, really, right, prior to the Arsenal games, that's where we lost the season. And after the Arsenal games, when we're not playing every 3 days, where you look at the games, that's when our win streak happens. But when you look at those games, we're helped 3 red cards, 1 PK, in a game where the PK was the game winner, right? Even though we created some chances. I mean, we saw Seth had a fabulous game in that 5-0, but the game before, he couldn't. He like missed 2 breakaways. So it's and then this happens again, right? He couldn't hit the net again in this game. So it's just this is what Benfica has been all season long. I'm not surprised by this at all. This is in the first half of the season. We went on a run for 5-6 games that we didn't lose, and Oscar was calling it from the very beginning. Oh, this Benfica's not playing well, and we kept saying, oh, well, we'll take the win.
Win is a win. Win is a win.
Yeah,
win is a win.
And it's the same thing that happened this time around. Win's a win. We'll take it. They were playing better. I will give you that. They were playing better. But then if you look at it, yeah, of course they're going to play better against 10. I mean, if they can't play good against 10, then what the fuck's Benfica at this point? So yeah, I mean, I am not surprised. I have not been confident in this team. Even though during the win streak, there was one podcast after that you and I probably went about it for like 30, 40 minutes where you tried your hardest to convince me. And you had me going. I will say, you had me going. You're like, we got to do this. And I'm like, all right. But when I went to bed, I'm like, wait a second, that's a lot that needs to happen. It's just, I'm like, there's no way. So you might have thought that I was on that train, but you were riding solo, bro. I was not on there with you. I never believed in this team that they could win the league. Second place, I still think, even though it's harder, right? I still think second place we should still be fighting for second place. I think it's still doable, but I think most likely what's going to happen is Sporting is not going to lose this league this year, and they deserve it. I mean, if they were to, and if Benfica were to, if this all panned out in our favor, I still wouldn't have considered this like, oh, Benfica won the league. I would be like, Sporting fucking pissed the league away. Benfica didn't win it. Porto didn't win it. Sporting lost the league. For me, Sporting has been the league winner since like probably 2 or 3 games into the second half of the season. So that was it. The only other thing I know that you guys were, I know Oscar was a little Darwin Everton happy. You know, Kenny comes on here talking shit about Everton, and Darwin's the same thing. I'll only say this: in no way am I saying that Darwin doesn't deserve the criticism. He deserves the criticism because he has not played well. I'm not saying that he's playing well, but I am just saying when I compare him to Everton, before the season started, I knew who Everton was. Everton had some weight under his name. I didn't know who the fuck Darwin was. I don't think anyone knew who Darwin was. So for me, yes, Darwin had the higher value that we paid for. What was it, 22 versus 25? But still, for me, Everton has more experience. Those 2 players coming in, I had way more expectations on Everton because I knew a little bit about him, and he carried that weight than Darwin. I didn't know anything about him except that we paid $25 million, and we expected a lot more from him, and he hasn't showed it up. But Everton's been a much longer professional. I think,
and he's a Brazilian. And he's on top. He's a Brazilian international too. Like but
even despite that, Darwin, I think, has only been a professional for like 3 years. He started at Penarol, right? He went right from there. He went to Spain, played in the second league, and this is his like 3rd year as a pro playing at Benfica in his career. Like, dude, let's give this kid a little bit of a chance to. I mean, I'm not saying he's playing well. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for me, he has a little bit more of a longer leash than Everton. I expected way more from Everton. That's the only criticism I have with the Everton-Darwin conversation is that, you know, I just expect, and I think Everton's been much more of a disappointment than Darwin. Much more.
But you do understand Everton's coming from a Brazilian league, which is totally different from us. So if you give somebody a leeway, because Darwin is playing the 2nd division in Spain, which is comparable to our 1st division, in my view, right? If we think about the teams in our 1st division, 2nd division teams can compete with them and beat them. So Darwin coming from play there 2 years in the 2nd division in Spain should be more adapted to European soccer than
I think he's only
Everton
played there 1 year.
What? But he scored goals and he was playing well in second division
he
Spain,
scored.
right?
He scored what, like 13 goals? I mean, he's still for me, Everton. I get it. I get what you're saying, but for me, I didn't know I had no idea who Darwin was. I don't think a lot of people knew who Darwin was. We were going after Cavani. Then all of a sudden Darwin came in and we're like, oh shit, 25 million, he's ought to be good. But then if you actually look at it, he's only been a pro for like 3 or 4 years. Everton, for me, I've heard Everton's name for a long time in the national team and everything. Like, he's got more weight under him, and I mean, out of all the signings that came in, I was much higher on Everton than Darwin, just because I knew more about Everton, and he has not. I mean, he's scored a couple of games, a few goals. He's had a couple of good games, but I just expected way more from him as an overall player than Darwin.
But what is your reasoning for believing in Darwin since he hasn't shown you anything?
No, I just think. Well, he has shown me some stuff. I think.
Yeah, there's been spurts.
There's been spurts of him running with the ball, yeah, and then sometimes running out of bounds with the ball, sometimes tripping on the ball, and there's some spurts of them. We call him clown shoes because he can't trap the ball anymore.
Yeah, and
so like, I mean, I've had good games like that too, where I run out of the field.
He deserves the criticism. Yeah, he deserves the criticism. He hasn't played well. I'm not saying he's played well, but I just feel like I am willing to give him more time to develop as a player, whereas Everton, I feel like, should be more of a complete player by now than Darwin.
Can I just add something to that? How many? I'm just going to tell you. Everton has the most assists on Benfica this season.
And he's a winger, so that's his job.
He has 10 and 4 goals.
See, that's actually a surprising stat.
Darwin has like 9 assists? Darwin's not that far behind in assists.
Has 9 assists and 13 goals.
See, like, that's not even that bad. 13 goals and 10 assists.
But the thing is,
he's a forward. He should be scoring more, and I get it.
So how many? Okay, but how many goals do you expect him to finish off the season? By the end of the season, how many goals would you expect?
Well,
I know, but he's talking about goals when he had the spur, when he scored 3 goals against the Rangers. So those goals added up right in those few games. But
bro, you added PZ stats. You added all the PKs. It's similar. Goals are goals.
Wait.
Goals are goals.
But we're taking a few games that he had scored 3 goals at a game, right? But if you think about, let's go. Okay, Jornada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until we are right now. There's like a lot of blanks. He does no assists, no goals. He had all those probably in 3-4 games.
Okay, but Oscar, Bob, what I'm asking is, if in the beginning of the seasons, basically what I'm trying to say is, in the beginning of the season, how many goals did you expect? We signed him for $25 million, and we saw that he was going to start. So you know that he had the starting job in the beginning of the season. How many goals did you expect him to be at the end of the season? Overall,
close to 20.
In the teens,
20 minimum.
I would say in the 20s.
I'd say
in the 20s.
So he's 7.
Close to 20.
He's 7 goals away from 20.
But he's not. But have you seen his performances? He's not getting there. Okay. It's like, instead of getting better, he's getting worse.
But you can have the same argument for Seth. Seth looked like a fucking limbo, and then he rattled off like 8 goals in 5 games.
What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys about Seth? We cannot rely on Seth. We cannot rely on Seth to be our striker. Seth is a guy that has those spur moments. Like, he'll have a great freaking 5 games, and all of a sudden forget how to play soccer. Like, we said that we can't rely on Seth. We need to look at that. That's why we argue the argument with Vinicius. We need a guy like Vinicius back because we can't rely on Seth. Seth can be our number 1 striker. Cannot be our number 1 striker. We can't rely on him because there's games where he'll score like 20 goals, and then there's games like he legit looks like he never touched the ball in his life.
But Oscar, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, shout out to Bruno Nogueira. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for adding your commentary here. He says, Everton Pedrinho machines, they just not adapted in the Portuguese style soccer style. It's different from Brazil. Give them more time.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
You will see.
That's
fine.
You
agree?
But yet, you're not willing to give more time for Darwin.
No, I didn't say that. I said like we're criticizing Everton, we have to criticize Darwin.
I agree.
And if we're gonna give Everton, if we're gonna give Darwin because he cares, because I think he cares about Benfica, we're gonna give him slack. Well, you said that.
No. I was misinterpreted. I did not say he cares.
Let's hear what you thought.
I never said that he cares about Benfica.
I fucking love
See what happens. See what happens when you miss a week.
I would love to see the text message. I will say that I was
because he cried. He cares.
Hold on.
No,
Do you
no,
want me
I
to bring it up on the screen? I can bring it up.
Yeah,
on the
bring
screen.
it up. Bring it up. Bring it up.
I got some facts
I-
over
why
there.
don't you-
I got some
I
facts.
forgot the Ubers, dude.
What I meant
What I meant was
I did not go back to see the text.
Well, as a kid,
but
can we know?
I'll
Can we
find
know
it.
what the text message says? Can we know
I'll
what the
find
text message says?
what I was trying to say, and maybe I misspoke on the text,
Yeah,
but I didn't say he cares about Benfica. I said by him showing emotion, it means that he cares. Whether you want to interpret it as he cares, for me, what I mean by that is he cares about his performances. He cares, like that meant a lot to him as a player. Breaking out of the not scoring as of late, it mattered to him. So for me, that means that he's motivated. He wants to perform well. He wants to do well for himself. And what does that mean? If he wants to do it for himself, then that's only going to benefit Benfica. Because he cares. If he didn't care, and when I said RDT, right? RDT for me, he didn't seem like he cared whether he scored or he didn't score. He didn't show emotion whether he cared about if he performed well or if he didn't. And when he didn't get in.
Here we go. We got the message. This is the beauty of being on a Mac. I can just search for shit, pull it up on the screen. For those listening, I'm not saying he cares about Benfica or believes Benfica. By showing emotion means he cares about his performances, shows that he knows the pressure is there and wants to do more, and that will only help Benfica because he's going to keep trying, unlike RDT, who said, fuck it, I'm out.
See, and he kind of explained it well.
Well, he explained it, but but it meant the same thing because he cried, he cares, and the guys that don't cry, like Everton, don't care. They should leave.
Listen, players cry. What do you mean, dude? Ronaldo cried at plenty of times on the field. How many times?
Yeah, because his dad died and he scored for him.
Oh, don't.
Oh,
here we go.
What about the Euro final?
What the hell, dude?
Dude, I'm just saying that I like when I see players that get bring out that emotion. For me, it means that they care about their performances and how they do well. So, and RDT for me didn't rub me the right way. Like I didn't feel like he really cared. And like Bill had said, I think last week, he just got up and left. He asked to leave because he didn't care. He was like, whatever. If I'm not scoring and I'm not starting, then get me out of here. Whereas Darwin wants to be. He wants to perform well. He wants to be here. He's
okay.
Like,
so taking Darwin out of the equation, right? We haven't heard anything about Everton asking to leave because he doesn't start, but we still on his case, because he doesn't cry.
Okay, no, Oscar.
Hold on, before you add your comment, Manny in the chat says, on Everton, I'm Team Kenny on this one. We expected a Neymar and got a Fred.
I wouldn't say we expected a Neymar, but I would have took it like a Ramirez or a Salvio type.
He was Neymar's replacement in the Copa America when he got hurt.
I'm just saying,
Everton,
and Manny, you're right? I expected more. I felt like Everton should be more of a complete player at this stage in his career than Darwin. Darwin is still a raw talent. Dude, he's 3 years into his professional career. Like
how old is Everton?
And that's all I'm saying.
25.
And all I'm saying is, as of right now, those two at their stages in their career, I expect more of a complete player with Everton than with Darwin. I'm not saying Darwin's playing good.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I just say Everton coming from Brazil needs 1 year, right? That's 1 year. If the second year he's doing what he's doing this year, then that's when I draw the line, right? But with Darwin, same thing. So I'm just being fair to both of them, right?
So Oscar, can I say one thing?
I agree.
How about Julian Weigl? How about Weigl? How long did it take him to adapt to our league?
Exactly what I'm saying. Even him took a while.
Yeah, but he's coming from a German team, so why can't we give Darwin that time as well?
I never said we never give. I say I believe in Darwin, but I can't praise him or think he cares because he shows emotion. I just think perform. Show me what you got, and then I'll believe in you. But until then, give him time. He needs time. I do. But we can't say one needs time and the other doesn't care. He sucks. He should leave.
No, and listen, I never said that.
We're talking about shipping. We're talking about shipping Everton because he sucks. We could get him out of here.
No one said
dude. That's it.
That must have been on the Casalagartu's Twitter.
Yeah, it must be Victoria. Is she whispering things in your ear over there?
Dude, she must be because
you're escalating stuff. I never said ship Everton. I want both. Look, we're gonna need both of them to fucking be 10 times better next year than they were this year. Both of them. Like Pedrinho,
A lot
to
of
all
money
these
in two
guys.
players.
We need these players to step up. And I'm giving them time to adapt. I'm just saying what I've seen from Everton, I expected a more complete player than with Darwin. And that's why I give Darwin more of a leash. That's all. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying they're both playing good. Darwin has sucked. I'm not going to say he has sucked, and he's not playing now, and that it just goes to show that he's out of form. But I think we all hope that he turns out to be the $25 million player that we paid for. He has to be. So that's it. That's all I had to clear up.
I agree. Good. See what happens when you miss 1 week of the podcast. You got to come and defend yourself.
I regret missing last week, dude. I had the biggest headache, but I'm telling you right now, you guys are all high on that 5-0. I would have been the Debbie Downer. I'm telling you, I would have been like, I don't give a shit about this 5-0. They're gonna lose the game, and I would have been right.
I was not high on that. I'll give you Vittoria was high on that result. I was not. I was on her.
Commence for this.
For those of you who watched it, Jay and Oscar, who would you say is the MVP of the game?
We had an MVP in this game.
O que marcou o nosso golo?
Seriously?
No, I say just because of probably 2 runs that I saw him do, Rafa. Especially when the goal came from an awesome play that he did on the side, and he crossed it in, and the guy reflected and he shot it on goal, and they came back from the defender's leg.
No one deserves the MVP in my books. No one. I'll give it to Lorenzi, or whatever, that guy that scored the second goal, because he fucking blew right by our defense.
He did. I was gonna go with Otamendi. I think of everyone, again, he's the only one that shows a little bit of fight. Seems annoyed, seems aggravated, and Kenny is brewing over there. What's coming out of your mouth right now?
Dude,
I just want to say,
he sat up straight. He was ready to go. What's coming out of that mouth?
Well, I'm just gonna say that I did not watch the game. I watched the highlights, and and people were talking about this through some of the messaging and stuff. But Helton, gave up some cheap goals. That second one.
That second one near post, you should cover that.
Oh.
Yeah, talking about Elton, I actually wanted to bring up Elton today. Let's talk about our opinion now. Let's bring, like, we had no reason to pull Vlaco, right? We all agreed on that. Vlaco did not do anything wrong.
I think he should have been pulled. I think he should have, especially with that Sporting goal, and that's where he. I think and that's where it came from.
That was in February.
All right. So Sporting's goal, and now does Elton get pulled now because of these goals?
But he didn't make a mistake.
He didn't make any mistake.
A goalkeeper is supposed to cover the near post. Even I'm not a goalie, and that's what I hear every coach that I've ever played with. What was the second goal on? Was not the
near post, but he's 1-on-1 with the guy.
Yeah, but he's like a foot away.
Yeah, and the ball.
And he went top shelf over his shoulder.
The problem is
the guy was not coming.
He did not go top shelf.
The problem is
he thought he was going low. The goalie went low, and the ball went high, went over his shoulder.
The problem is he got caught cheating.
That's how the goal happened. Yeah,
he got caught cheating. He thought he was going to go across him, and he put it near post. That's what happened.
He didn't cover near post.
He didn't. He got caught cheating, but it's a breakaway. You got to take your chance, and he took his chance, and he was wrong.
How many times have we seen Vlaco miss goals like
how many
give up goals like that? And it's probably even worse.
Listen, I'm of the opinion that one isn't significantly better than the other. We've talked about this before. But when you want to talk about mistakes, we're defending the Odysseus guy who's made a lot of good saves. I agree with that. But this is also the guy that gave up a goal against Bologna and a free kick in the middle of fucking nowhere. The ball bounced and he watched it go in the net.
The first season that he played, I remember that.
Correct. Yeah. Right. So those are mistakes, right? And he's had more. He had one this year with Braga at home where he's facing the ball and he stutters and waits, and then the player from Braga gets there before him, right? So I think we can agree that neither one or the other is better than the other. I think each of them have their strengths and both of them have their weaknesses. Should one have come out? I don't know. Only JJ knows that and the reason why he did it. But to say, oh my God, he hasn't conceded a goal in 8 games or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden he concedes 2 goals
against
and it's
10.
his fault. What do you mean against that? Oh,
yeah,
fucking
hell. What chances?
When we have...
He made a save against Marítimo with his leg.
He made 2 saves against Marítimo in that game. If it wasn't for him, we probably would have tied that game.
that leg save, like to me, a save, I understand. All right, when you guys say it's a save, a nasty save against Milito, he made himself big. The ball hit his body. All right, a save is a save. I understand. It's a save. It's a save.
Unreal.
But to me,
you have an excuse for everything.
The ball pretty much hits him. The ball hits him. He doesn't even make the save. Big.
How's that like a save is somebody dives for the ball in the corner? To me, that's a save.
The dude was voted goalie of the month. Did not give up a goal for like 5 or 6 or 7 games or however long, and we're complaining about
real chances. How many real chances?
We're talking about two. We're talking about 2 breakaways. 2 breakaways he gave up.
Check the saves.
That second goal. That second goal to me is cheap. For me, that's a cheap goal. I think that the forward holds the ball very late. He does not take a shot till the very last second, and the ball sneaks in. Was that
Tony's pissed.
Bagbarolho.
Mais lá pro cinto, vai.
Kenny texted your mom and was like, "Hey, yell at him."
No, for me, that second goal was cheap. I think the forward holds the ball to the last minute to shoot, and he goes near, like Oscar said, he goes near post. I don't know. I think that was a soft goal, that last one. He turns away. He's trying to be big, and he doesn't get it, man. I think that's
he did. He got caught. He got caught cheating. He anticipated he was going to go across him, and he didn't. And he got caught cheating, and he tucked it near post. I can't disagree with you. Do I think it's a cheap goal? No, it's a breakaway. He has to make a decision, and he guessed wrong. If he saves it, right, we're saying, holy shit, good save, 1-on-1, right? He had a 50-50 shot, and he ended up picking the wrong side. Anything else? You were going to say something else, but you're biting your tongue.
No.
Let it out.
I'm just going to say,
Come on, Kenny.
Mark my words. Elton is not going to be the goalkeeper that you guys think he is. This shutout that he just went on, dude. We were playing against 10 on more than half the games, playing against 10, and he really didn't have much action to deal with. You watch when we play Porto Sporting. Vamos levar umas poucas.
Okay.
Hey, wait! Before Kenny did. Mikey didn't find the right text. This is a text. I'll read it out loud since Mikey was trying to cover for you. Ready?
Wait, hold on, I got it.
No, read it.
Hold on, I have it here on the chat too. Tell me which one.
It's where you say Darwin. Let's go, Darwin crying, and then read from there on.
Hold on, let me scroll up here.
Yeah, it's
listen,
legit.
I don't remember what that was.
Yeah.
But I was drinking that day.
Here we go.
Yeah. Don't blame the alcohol.
Maybe I got emotional too. I got emotional.
You probably did.
Where the hell is it? How far up is it?
But I've explained myself, so it's fine.
5:29 that day. 5:29 p.m. It's when Darwin. You say Darwin. Let's go, Darwin crying.
What were you?
I'll read it. All right.
Hold on. Were you in the 18th?
Yeah, read it.
Hole? Were you in the 18th hole already? Feeling good?
19th hole.
All right, read it while I look for it.
All right, say Mikey goes Darwin, and then he goes, let's
go.
I
got it here.
All right, go. Push it up. I want to see this.
You said 5?
5:29, guy.
On what day?
The day of the game.
It was Saturday.
Benfica's winning.
Saturday. What the fuck? I can't find it. All right, read it.
Say Mikey goes Darwin. Let's go, Darwin crying. Kenny goes, you scored? Like surprise effect. And then Mike goes, yeah. And then Kenny goes, damn, love that guy. Let's go, Puto. All right. And then Mikey goes, nice assist from Seth. And he started crying. He needed that goal. And then I'm like, love him. Why? And Kenny goes, because I know he cares. It's right.
Not cares.
Because I know he cares.
Exactly. Yeah, not cares about my feet. He cares. That's exactly what I said.
He cares more than a lot of the other players. And I'm like, are you sure? He cares like everybody else about his career, which is every player plays for the career, right? So you're being a psychiatrist. You're thinking like, oh, because he cried, I know he cares. You love this guy.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Oscar, how many times have you been a psychiatrist, especially about the Otamendi conversation? Oh, you're a portista.
I was just a conspiracy theory. I was just a hater from the book.
Same thing.
Listen, if he hadn't cried and he was like just showing emotional, or like when Seth did the Bruxedo off of me, right? Like that to me is showing emotion. it doesn't matter if he had cried or not cried and did something else. I'm just saying, a player that does something like that shows that emotion, care, like you can tell that he cares. It means something to them. That's all. I'm not saying like that Benfica means the world to him. Of course, that's not what I think. I just feel like his performances of course, they mean something to him. He actually cares about his career. He cares about his performances, unlike some players who are just there to collect a paycheck. That's all. So no, you didn't fucking. What'd you prove with that? It's the same thing I've been saying.
Kid had a smirk on his face. I knew he was up to no good.
He was scrolling for days.
I know. All right, so
finding that. Holy shit.
I actually found it too. Now let's go on to the conversation that is going to generate some questions and some thoughts here. So those of you who are in the chat, watching, listening, I'm going to post the link here in the chat. If you want to join, you can join with audio only. You can do video and audio if you want to join us and share your opinion. Doesn't have to be specific to the Portuguese League or Benfica. I think this is a broader conversation in terms of just football, European football, the future of it if this happens. So feel free to join us, or you can just leave us your thoughts in the chat. European Super League, 24 hours ago, or maybe less, a bunch of clubs came out and announced officially. Rumor, and again, there's a lot of information here that needs to be defined. I've just made some notes here. I have my thoughts and some talking points here, but I'll let you guys start with it, and then we can kind of carry on the conversation. But rumor is Florentino Perez from Real Madrid is going to be the chairman. 2 vice chairmans will be Joel Glazer from Manchester United and Andrea Agnelli from Juve. Rumor has it that there's going to be 15 founding clubs. 5 clubs will be invited based on performance, merit, whatever the hell that may mean. I'm sure they're going to still try to figure out and define what that invitation looks like. As of right now, 6 English clubs, 3 Italian clubs, 3 Spanish clubs. Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, Inter, Juve, AC Milan, Atleti, Barcelona, Real Madrid. They're apparently looking for 3 more founding clubs. I think if you read between the lines, PSG and Bayern Munich were potentially supposed to be 2 of those 3, potentially Borussia Dortmund as well. There seems to be some divide there between some of those. I know that Bayern is like a rare case, right? Their majority is owned and decisions made by their supporters. And PSG's owner is part of the UEFA board. He's got a really good relationship with the president of UEFA. He owns beIN Sports, which has broadcasting rights with Champions League. So he has a bunch of conflict of interest there, whether it's personal, whether it's business. So there's a lot that's been talked about in terms of competitiveness, in terms of economics. JPMC is apparently, or JP Morgan Chase, if you guys don't know what JPMC means, is apparently funding it. At the root of it, there's a lot of blame going towards the American ownership of Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United. So there's a lot to be discussed here. I can see both sides of it. Kenny, I'm going to start with you. I guess, what are you...
Okay. Oh, man.
What do you think about this whole thing? And ask your questions, bring your topics, and I want it to be more of kind of just an open discussion. Feel free to jump in. Obviously, make sure we're not yelling over each other. But I think there's a lot to be discussed here. There's a lot to unpack. And again, not necessarily just looking at it from a Benfica and a Portuguese League perspective, which we'll obviously talk about, but just as a whole, I think there's a lot there.
Well, all right. Don't crucify me, guys. All right. I might come out as the bad guy here, another greedy American, right? But
I predicted, by the way, on our chat that it would be me and Kenny versus Bill, Oscar, and Tank. So let's see if that plays out.
So, I mean, let's just start off with this. I mean, don't we all want to see the best of the best play against each other in a Super League, like to really determine the best of the best? I mean, I would love to see that. I would love to see a Super League. Now, if you have to do a Super League at, and get rid of Champions League or get rid of, you're going to start banning teams from domestic play and players from international play and all that stuff. Well, yeah, you're taking away from the rest of the sport. But how do you not want to see something like the Super League put together? I think
because we have the Champions League.
That's the whole point of the Champions League.
But the Champions League's different.
Is the rich getting richer, and any small club has zero chance.
But that already exists.
In the Champions League.
So
these
here's the thing,
guys. That used to happen. No, but these upsets in the Champions League used to happen.
The money gets trickled down. The money always gets trickled down even from the big clubs.
Even going forward.
But but that's not exactly what he just said. What Bill just said. It's not going to happen if the Super League happens. These 12 teams or 16 teams are going to get so much richer. Their league's going to be the most. They're going to have all the TV rights. They're going to have all this, and it's just going to be these 16 teams. The rest of the whole world, like soccer's based on all these clubs. Like think about the history of.
Is it though? Because guess what? Champions League is only Champions League because of these teams, not because of the little teams. The TV rights are only buying.
Bro, Porto winning the Champions League. Benfica's won the Champions League.
That's a long time ago, though.
Doesn't matter. It's still the history of the Champions League.
Hold on. Do you know how long since Porto won the Champions League? All right. Do you know how many Portuguese teams have been in the semifinal? Zero. Since Porto won the Champions League, do you know how many teams outside of the top 5 leagues in Europe have made it to the semifinal?
Ajax.
One. Since Porto won the Champions League, 2004. 17 years.
So can I so why not fix what's wrong with the champion? That's what I said. Why not fix what UEFA is doing wrong and FIFA doing wrong, because they're being corrupt and basically benefiting the big teams, right? Why not fix the money, the monopoly that goes to the big teams right now as it exists, and help the little teams have a chance? We have teams
like teams don't want it.
I know that they don't, and that's why they want to make
the Super League. They want the money.
The Super League. They want to make the Super League to basically destroy everything else. Yep. Who's going to watch? If you think, okay, right now, Ozil. Actually, I read an interview he just did. All right. He said it perfectly. He said exactly what I think. We look forward to a big team playing each other, right? We look all year round, like for Champions League, for a Bayern to face Real Madrid or a Bayern to face Manchester United, right? We looked all year to face those two games in the Champions League. If we have them, like we have Porto now playing Benfica 4 times a year, sometimes I don't even watch the game, and it's a Clásico. Because now we face twice a year in the league. We face them on the Taça de Portugal. We face them on the Taça da Liga. We face them on Super Taça. It's almost like we don't. The excitement is gone, right? And it'll be fun for the first year. It'll be fun maybe for the second year. But then after that, it's just going to be the normal, and everything else, like the league, the national leagues are going to be gone. Who's going to watch the EPL like they used to when they have the top 6 teams gone? Nobody.
But that's part of the problem, right? And Manny says here they tried. It was called financial fair play,
and
right?
they also don't have like regulations. It's always going to be those teams. There's not going to be a team. And then not going to have the opportunity to move up.
Think about this: who gets dropped, who goes up. I know that 5 teams.
There is no relegation.
5. I know, but 5 teams are going to
five teams that they move in and out.
All right,
but those 12 teams get handed this money every year. Without anything.
No matter what.
First of all, the money is a one-time payment. I don't think it's every year.
But it doesn't matter.
So,
no, it's
did they earn their spot?
So the money is 3.5 billion. 3.5 billion for the founding, and it's divided. So it ranges. It's more or less about 425 million for like those founding clubs. But that 425 million is 4 times what the Champions League winner last year made, right? These clubs don't depend on the Champions League winnings, right? Because in the Premier League, they're making more money in the Premier League than they make for Champions League. That's the reality of it, right? And then annual fund available in the Super League is 2.66 billion pounds. So that's divided amongst which can range anywhere between 130 and 213 million pounds. So there's an annual fund that's going to be available for those in it, and then there's that upfront or split out, however they break it out. But there's that cost payout for the founding clubs.
Founders.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the founding clubs are going to make more money, but do you think these clubs don't already have money? Right? Like John Henry.
A lot. Perez said it today that the reason why they joined doing this thing is because of COVID relief. They want to. They can't afford to be like the club they are because of COVID, because they have no fans.
But if a team
get
past this, how the hell are these small teams going to do it?
A team like Real Madrid, where it's probably the biggest team in the world, right? If they say once COVID is gone and they fill the stadiums again, if they can get past it, Real Madrid can get past it, then who else the fuck can?
But do you really think that Real Madrid can't get money?
I know. Then why is Perez saying that as an excuse to join it?
Because that's just their excuse to create this.
Well, I think it's all right. What Perez's excuse was fans are losing interest. Blah blah blah. They're not like he's an old timer. He doesn't know the technology. Like I can watch the game at the beach now. Before I used to drive to Cumberland to watch a Benfica play Inter Milan. Remember, Mike? We used to go to Cumberland to the club to watch a game. Yeah. All of us get in cast together and watch the game. Now we can watch it on our freaking cell phones. So yeah, we're not seeing big crowds gathering together to watch the games, but we're still watching the games. Like,
yeah, but what's at stake here is the broadcasting money. Mm-hmm. That's what's at stake here. And when you think about it, right? And I can see both sides of it. And that's what I was saying, where I think Kenny and I will be on one side, and I think the three of you guys will be on the other side. I can see both sides of it in the sense of soccer has evolved over the years, right? 70, 80 years ago when the Portuguese league was the Portuguese league, you had, Carcavelos playing against Benfica, right? Like it was all one, right? And then they got to a point where they said, listen, we're going to create tiers. There's going to be the Campeonato Nacional. There's going to be Regionais, right? And that's progressed over time, right? Now you got
promotion.
Correct. And I think that's the biggest, or one of the bigger problems with the Super League, right? That there's no moving up and moving down.
The biggest MLS.
You don't know.
For now. But
you don't know that the Super League.
And with the evolution of this, right, and progression, right, at the international level, they've created this Nations League, right? And I remember we all talked about it 2, 3, 4 years ago. Like, what the fuck is this? Another competition to play more games, to tire players out, right? And it just naturally progresses, right? You're going to have this, right, this pyramid, right? And I think their goal here is to create this Super League as the top of the pyramid, right? Just like the Champions League is today the top of the pyramid. They want to create this top of the pyramid, which is the Super League, and then they need to find a way to tie everything into it, right? It gets difficult, right? When you have 5 teams that go in and out, how do you differentiate those 5 teams when there's 55 leagues in UEFA, right? How do you pick those 5, right? That criteria needs to be defined, right? So there's a lot of question marks here, right?
How do they pick why those 12?
Correct. So I think that needs to be defined.
Say Everton is not part of this, right? And Everton next year wins the now these teams moved out of EPL. Everton wins the EPL next year. Everton is a team that most likely from a top league in the world goes into the Super League, right? And then next year, the year after, Wolverhampton wins the EPL. That's Wolf. So in probably like 5 years down the road, we have EPL within the Super League.
That's the thing, is they need to figure. The thing is that these clubs want to be part of the Super League, but also compete in their domestic competitions.
Yeah. They want this to replace the Champions League.
The FAs don't want them. Either you pick or choose. But again, the problem is the money. One, the broadcasting money, right? And these FAs don't want this to happen because if this gets created, the Premier League loses a shit ton of money. Not only loses a shit ton of future money,
all the leagues,
but mostly the EPL.
Yeah, but that's where the
EPL loses. Yeah. EPL loses a shit ton of money in the future, and they have to pay back some of the contracts that are still existing, right? Because those teams backed out.
I have a question for you guys. This is a serious question. This, like the soccer, football, whatever you guys want to call it, is a sport for who? For the fans, right?
Yeah.
So when this Super League, it's like almost like a Euro Cup with all the countries in Europe, like they were trying to do that, right? Like where the fans are going to watch. Benfica fans, we think they can afford to go to England every other weekend, or to Spain, or to
you think these
Germany?
owners care?
No,
give
it's
two shits
all
about
about the
the
money.
fans.
But the soccer is all about it's supposed to be a sport for the fans, right? You're supposed to think to the fans that watch the game. That's who, and then think about yourself. Then think about the money, because the fans, if without fans, this doesn't exist, right? And I think if when you don't have teams like filling up stadiums. Okay, I understand.
The stadiums are still going to get filled up, bro.
But
The home team's still going to sell out. The home team still sells the game. There's the home team.
But then what fun is it having a game Bayern against PSG with the fans is all Bayern?
What's the fun of Portimonense having a game away and Benfica fills their stadium? It's the same thing, dude. It's just bigger clubs.
It's not the same, dude. It's not the same. It feels like a Champions League away, a home and away leg, and where the away leg isn't.
It's not the same. Why? Because now you feel like a Portimonense because you're not in it with the big clubs. Because Benfica now isn't in with the big clubs most likely, right? Now you feel more like a Portimonense because you can't play with the big boys. That's why it's different.
So if Benfica goes to the Super League, right? Do you ever watch the Portuguese league again?
No, the thing with me is I like the idea of a Super League, but I don't think it should be at the expense of the domestic leagues. That's where
how do you say both? How do you do both? How do you say both?
Champions League.
You can still do it. It's just UEFA. Everyone's saying that the clubs are greedy. UEFA's greedy because why doesn't UEFA go and cooperate and try to figure something out with the Super League?
And that's what I said.
They were.
They're saying, they
were trying to reformat the Champions League. That's the whole thing. They were reformatting the Champions League. This Super League came out, the news broke before UEFA announced they're reformatting the Champions League.
But do you know why they reformatted the Champions? Why do you think they reformatted the Champions League? Because the clubs put pressure on them.
Can I answer?
Yeah. Go.
No shit, the clubs put pressure on them. That's this whole shit is for that.
Dude, he said he was going to answer. Let him answer.
Bill. Champions League. What you guys want to believe that it is? Okay. It's for the big clubs and the little clubs, right? For their opportunity to win a Champions League. But you think if the top 15 or 12 teams that are always in Champions League are not in Champions League, you think Champions League is what it is? No, exactly. The Champions League is anchored by the top 12, 15 founding clubs. They are the money makers. That's where the television rights go to.
The founding clubs? Man U, Arsenal, Tottenham, all in Europa League.
Whatever,
for the last
that's fine.
couple of years.
But they're the bigger markets.
But they're the bigger markets.
Yeah.
They're the teams that the television rights want to put their money behind. That's why Champions League has all the money behind it.
I have a question.
UEFA
why are they the big markets?
The UEFA suits are the greedy assholes, right? That do nothing. They just piggyback off the big clubs and make all the money. So these clubs are like, why the fuck are we doing? Why are we bending over backwards for UEFA to make all this? Why don't we just create our own league? They are nothing without us. We have all the leverage, us the clubs. So let's start our own league. Put the pressure on them. Either they play with us or we leave. And what does UEFA do? Okay, we'll just ban you all. They have no leverage. They ban these clubs. Super League. They'll lose if UEFA wants to continue with the Champions League. They'll lose all their TV rights. All the TV rights with the Champions League will just go to the Super League. UEFA has zero.
What do you think happens to all the small clubs when Champions League is gone? And all the leagues that
I don't know.
The money trickles down into for those small clubs, and in England, the grassroots, all the tiers they have.
I understand that.
That money's gone.
That's where I don't agree that should happen to the expense of the
but that's what it is.
Falling apart.
You killed the game.
We don't know that. This is all rumored stuff yet.
Hold on, let Jay. Jay was going to ask his question. Jay,
no, you guys keep going. You guys keep going.
Okay.
Kenny already talked about it. So
they're just playing. I agree. I agree with Mike. Maybe they're playing chicken to see who gives in first. Because UEFA, if they ban these clubs and they ban players from playing international, that's terrible. I don't think that they would ever it would come down to that. They're just seeing if, in my opinion, I'm hoping that they just see like either you guys cooperate with us or we'll cooperate with you and we'll come together and do something much bigger and better instead of just splitting apart and we're just going to ban you. Like UEFA just comes out and says, "Oh, we'll just ban you guys." They don't even want to go to the table and try to figure something out.
Yeah,
they're greedy fucks too. They're greedy assholes.
They didn't just come out and say that. This Super League has been rumored for years. Correct. I think it was last year it came out and there was teams that had to send out statements saying that it was all it wasn't true. The rumors are false, whatnot. This has all been in the works for years. And now they're using this COVID shit as the excuse for bringing it out, and they release it before UEFA can release their.
Well,
But they already knew. They
revamped
already knew
Champions
what
League.
they
But the
already knew
announcement
what
is-
Champions League was going to be. The format for the Super League is 2 groups of 10, top 3 in each group qualify for the quarterfinals, and the 4th and 5th place team in each group play each other for a playoff to qualify for the quarterfinals.
So they're changing the format to like the MLS style. Like
So 2 groups of 10.
that's so stupid.
But now let me tell you this: Champions League plan
was going to do something
was
similar.
going to be expand from 32 to 36 teams and have 10 group matches instead of 6. And that basically adds 100 new matches to the competition. So it wasn't going to be very different, right?
It's just more money to the teams.
Correct. And to UEFA. That's the thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you have
They
to look
did-
at it. And that's why these clubs are pissed off is these clubs have to front all the cash. They take all the risk. They have to have the stadium. They have to have the infrastructure. They have to have the security. They have to pay for their flights. They have to pay the salaries. All of this shit they pay. That's their risk, right? Meanwhile, they make fucking chump change when they win the Champions League, right? Like, it's not that much money at the end of the day. Meanwhile, FIFA and UEFA, which are non-profit organizations, have fucking millions of dollars in the bank.
No, and
But they have to earn their spot in the Champions League.
I totally
These
agree.
teams are being handed this spot in this Super League every fucking
Without
year.
even
No matter
earning
how
it.
shit they are in the league.
I agree
Tottenham,
with that.
Arsenal, anyone can be shit for years
Tottenham
but
never
still
won
be
a
playing
trophy.
in the Super League, which is stupid.
and not get relegated
Listen,
at all.
Tottenham's never won a trophy, and they're in this. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, that has what type of history do they have? Being losers?
They got this history. That's the difference. They got the cash.
They have the new stadium.
Mikey, why do they have that money? Because of the EPL.
Correct. That's what I'm
Okay?
saying.
Because of the league that they're in, and now they want to
Correct.
go away from the league that they're
Correct.
in. Okay, that's not right. To me, that's not right.
And I don't. But I also
No,
think
the thing that got you the money, the thing that got you guys, the reason why you guys are so rich and you guys have all this money is because of this league that you're part of. And now you guys want to go away and make your own league.
But you
To
know
me,
why?
That's stupid.
But the Premier
Rich
League
want
was
to get richer.
the Premier League was created off the same basis.
Mhm.
England had a first division, and England created a Premier League, and England invited teams to be in this Premier League, right? So it was created off the same basis. This isn't anything new. It's not something
No, it's not the
different.
same basis because
Yeah,
the Premier,
it's totally
Premier,
different.
Premier,
They had
Premier-
relegation
Premier
and
League-
promotion.
They
Yes.
had, I get
Yes.
that,
You're
but
not
there was
guaranteed
money.
It's not the
spot.
same.
There's
Totally
money
different.
behind it. The motive
Totally-
is the
totally
same
different.
exact thing. Is the
Totally
money?
different.
Yeah.
That's what's at stake. Is the cash.
Right.
And-
So the fixing for this is not creating a super league. Is UEFA and FIFA, both UEFA and FIFA, have to change the way that the format. They have to change the way that the money is divided. And once they fix that, they should keep this as it is. All right. They have to fix the money situation, which is exactly what you said. And I don't agree with what UEFA does and FIFA does. The money has to be fixed or like the monopoly has to be fixed in some way where teams benefit from going to Champions League and UEFA Cup, right? But not creating a super league where nobody gets promoted or nobody gets relegated. That's, to me, is just killing soccer in Europe.
Well,
Yep.
5 teams do get relegated, just not the way people want to get
Yeah,
relegated.
what if Tottenham is in
It
last
doesn't fucking
place?
matter.
They still
I
don't
know.
get relegated.
Both teams
That's
are handed.
stupid.
Kenny,
handed their spot every fucking
I
season.
get it.
You
I
can-
get it, guys.
listen,
I get
but
it.
you
But they're
can-
also taking the risk up front. They're the ones fronting. They're the ones taking the risk.
Fronting
These
what?
12 clubs.
Well,
JP
risk,
Morgan's
Kenny.
fucking
What
putting
risk?
up all the money.
What risk? They're
There's
gonna
no
get
risk for these guys.
$445 million every year.
All this is
every year.
profit for them.
You can come in last place and still get $445 million. You're gonna get it.
First of all,
All it
the
is
money,
profit.
guys. The money is not every year.
That's not
money
every
is
year.
It's not
That's
every
a
year.
one
They don't
pot,
get money
yes.
every year. The $6 million that they're fronting is divided by the clubs up front, so
The
that they
$6
can invest
billion.
in or $6 billion. Yeah,
But
So
then
that
there's
they
a
can
2.66 billion
prize or whatever
pot
the prize
Yeah.
for
per
the
year
winner.
divided. But that only ends up being between 130 to 200 million.
And that's
What
for the
risk
next.
are
I
these
think that's for
clubs
the next.
taking?
What is it for the next 24
What risk are
years?
these
Because
clubs
because they buy Neymar every year.
Okay, but what I'm saying is 130 million from 130 to 200 million, right? First place in the Premier League probably makes more than that. Just because of TV rights and because of what the FA pays them. Right? So
So
it's
I have
not like they
I have a
couldn't make
question.
that money somewhere
Then
else.
what's the benefit?
Hold on,
What's the
hold on,
benefit?
hold
It makes
on.
sense.
No,
themselves.
let Jay ask.
So hold on. I don't understand the whole money part, but you said they get They get 400 because they're founding, and then they get 100 after that, right? If they win or whatever the
So
competition.
that'll be the pot is 266 divided.
Don't they also get TV rights on top of that too?
They will once they have that.
Okay,
in place.
so I know you're saying that the
But that
EPL
gets
makes
divided
more
between
money.
everyone.
Gets divided. That's part of the prize.
But those TV rights is going to be a lot more money, and they're going to make a lot more money in this Super League, guaranteed, than they did in EPL. Period.
For whoever wins it. Whoever wins it,
you don't.
The TV money gets split between everyone in it.
The TV rights is the split between everybody, so that's even more money added on to your money.
I don't think that's all. I don't think that's all defined.
That money no
I think we're
what.
jumping to conclusions. I don't think that's all defined yet.
Dude, if you want to do a Super League, get on FIFA, make those teams, and play it out there. Like, it's so stupid.
Liverpool
Take the
made
fin out of
100.
it. Say if you're a club owner. You're a club owner. You've built your brand, right? You've built Real Madrid to what it is. You've built Man U to
Real Madrid's owned by the
be
clubs,
the team
by
that
the
it is.
fans.
You don't, yeah.
But whatever. You've
That's
still built the brand. You've built the brand. You've put in the infrastructure. You've spent money on players to be the best of the best. And everyone else is all the other smaller teams are benefiting because of you, because you and 15 other clubs carry the Champions League every single year. I get it. Tottenham might not deserve it. I get it. Atletico might not deserve it. But at the end of the day, in today's world, those clubs sell. You need those clubs. If you're going to build, I also agree that if you don't have Bayern, you don't have a Super League. I agree. I think that if you want a Super League, you're going to need a Bayern. You're going to need a PSG. So if they're not able to commit, then I don't think you would be able to consider yourself a Super League, right? You lose that aura of the best because Bayern's still out there. But if you're one of these super clubs, You've put in the effort, the money. You've built the brand to what as an owner, right? You have to think about it as an owner too. You've built the brand. You want to benefit from what you've built, and everyone else is UEFA suits are all fucking making money off of you, and they don't give a shit about whether if like Barcelona, right? Barcelona's struggling. I've heard tweets and read tweets that
Barcelona's struggling because of their own doing. It's not because of COVID. It's not because of UEFA. It's because of the shit they pulled.
That's fine.
And now they're getting bailed out because of this Super League.
Call it whatever you want to call it. They still have a brand. They have a huge brand that's worth money.
Yeah, but it's not built by the president.
All right, guys,
those
I have a question to
clubs
ask.
are elected by the fans.
Let him ask his question.
Sorry.
You guys have been going at it. My question is, if they do, like UEFA already came out today and they said that the players that play on these teams can't play in the World Cup, can't do that. I'll tell you this: Portugal would be screwed. And would you, as a player, want to play in the Super League?
They can't.
No, but listen. But if they do, I'm just saying, if they do, would you guys rather not play play in the Super League and not play in the World Cup?
Wait. But you have to understand one thing.
Just answered my question.
I know.
You're not going to answer my question. You're going to bring something else.
He is. Relax. He's going to answer it. Relax.
Dude, I'm going to say.
Hold on. Before you answer, Sylvia joined the chat here.
I was about to answer that at the same
newbie,
time.
what if players don't want to play in the new league or coaches? So I think that aligns somewhat with what Tank was saying.
Exactly what I'm going to answer. So if I'm a player and my employer is going somewhere else, if I quit, I don't get paid, right? I join. What am I going to join? Benfica instead of playing for fucking Juventus? Like it's a no. You have to go with the employer takes you, right? And now the coaches and the players, most of the players are already coming out saying they don't agree with this, but they're employed by those they have to go. So now, I don't think they have grounds to stand and saying you can't play on the Euro Cup. They don't have grounds to do that,
dude.
Right?
To be honest, they own the Euro. They own the fucking World Cup.
Right?
They're the ones that put on the show.
How do you put a blame on?
You can ban these teams not to be part of their association and not have those players playing it.
Tank, you have
I feel like they could.
You have a contract with your team, the employer of your employer, right? You can't just say I'm not going to show up because I don't agree with this. It's almost like saying Bale, I can't play for Tottenham because I don't start. You have a contract. Your job is to be there. I don't care if you play or not. Be on the bench.
I get that. I understand
your contract's a contract. You have to be with the employer.
But if you have like a year left and the next year you go there instead of re-signing, you sign. Would you re-sign? What I'm asking is, would you, as a person, like you're playing for this team, you're playing for Man City.
I wouldn't.
Okay, you wouldn't go. And that question was for everybody. Like I wouldn't go either. I would rather play for another team, probably PSG, make just as much money and be able to play for all these different types of competitions.
But the thing is that there's not going to be a lot of teams that can afford those big contracts.
Exactly, Mike. That's exactly what I was going to say. Say you're
I could see
Ronaldo.
it in your
I
eyes.
don't agree with
Okay.
this, but I'm Ronaldo. Oh, I don't agree with this. Okay, who's going to pay Ronaldo's salary? Everyone's just going to go to. Everyone's going to go to PSG.
MLS can afford
But
it.
does he want to come
Okay,
to the MLS? Is the question.
so now everyone's going to go to
You
the
go,
MLS.
you
or
go where you
Yes,
make money. You go where you make money.
You basically
You go
kill
where you make
European soccer by going elsewhere.
Wait, so do you guys think, now it
No
just
way.
came to my head,
No
do
way.
you
No
think
way that happens.
that the American owners
I bet the
are
United States,
doing
yeah.
this so
Probably.
they can get the MLS to be relevant?
Hey, who knows?
Do you think we figured this out? We might have
Do they
figured
have
this out.
stake in MLS?
It's fucking John Henry. Now I hate the Red Sox because of this dude.
So Manny asks here, do you think Benfica has a spot in the Super League? Who wants to take
No,
a
they
stab
can.
at that?
Gil Vicente does, and take all the goals with them.
No, I personally, I would assume that like if Portugal were to get one spot, it should go to Porto. Porto's been the most competitive in Champions League, so to me, it would be Porto.
But if Benfica was to be invited, right? Porto already came out. Whether they're going to hold true to it or not, Pinto da Costa came out today and said they wouldn't. They had informal discussions, but Porto wouldn't go through with it. Blah blah blah. If Benfica was approached and asked to join this league as fans,
I'd be
Would
pissed.
you
Round
guys-
table. Start
would
with
you
Bill.
guys?
No.
Yeah, let's see, Billy. Tu querias falar há bocado, fala agora.
Nope. Keep
Why?
it simple. Nope.
But why? Give
Nope.
us a reason. What's your reasoning?
It kills the league.
How? Give
Like,
us.
yeah,
The Portuguese
It's
will be
great.
gone.
So,
It's
Mike,
great.
give us some
Just that
assumptions,
Benfica-
though. Mike,
it's great
put
that
some
Benfica's getting all
assumptions
this
behind
money
it.
and Benfica can compete with all these other
Oh,
teams.
oh, oh.
But
Hold on,
it
Bill.
kills the league.
Hold
Well,
on, Bill. Hold on, Bill.
You don't-
Mike,
we
put some
can't-
assumptions behind it.
We can't. I can't imagine.
Say you can do both.
Correct. I can't imagine that these leagues.
No, I'm
these
not
leagues
saying if
need-
Benfica leaves. I'm talking about the money. Like in Champions League right now, there's money that's being fed into the Portuguese league that gets trickled down to all these teams into the second division and helps all these teams out. If Benfica or Porto or both end up going, or Sporting end up going to the Super League, from everything I've seen, there's
Don't
no
make me spit
talk.
out my water, dude. Sparking,
Yeah.
please. Pull this.
There's nothing I've seen that has talked about any kind of trickle-down effect where money is being injected to the leagues to help the lower tiered clubs.
Perez
If
did
that
say that
is
they
the
would.
case,
He did.
if that's the case, this Super League would kill off
But-
some of these, like the Portuguese League. It would kill it if Benfica, Porto, and
There wouldn't be
Sporting,
a
one of them
Portu-
were to
there
go in.
wouldn't be.
It would kill off all these other teams. They wouldn't be able to sustain
Just,
it. Like it would
just think of some of the stadiums created for the year 2004 that are already closed, and because they can't, like this will
Exactly.
be completely devastating for everybody else.
But you don't.
All
There's discussions, and again, I am of a believer that this is the Super League clubs calling UEFA's bluff. This is them saying, "Listen,
I agree with that, and I hope it is.
We're not going to take this bullshit anymore. You need us more than we need you. That's the
Yes.
reality of it. I don't care how you look at it, upside down, close your eyes. The UEFA and FIFA need these clubs and a few more, 150% more than they need UEFA or FIFA. That's just the reality of it. And that's why UEFA and FIFA is panicking. Do you think if it was the other way around, that UEFA and FIFA would be like, oh yeah, you're not going to play in this, you're not going to play in that, we're going to ban you from this, you're not going to ban you for that? And the Super League teams already anticipated this. They already have lawyers involved before their
Underwriting.
announcement. They released a statement yesterday, which
They already
basically
have a
said,
website.
correct, they already released a statement which said, we are concerned that FIFA and UEFA may respond to this invitation letter by seeking to take punitive measures to exclude any participating club or player from their respective competitions. Your formal statement does, however, compel us to take protective steps to secure ourselves against such an adverse reaction, which would not only jeopardize the funding commitment under the grant, but significantly would be unlawful. For this reason, Super League Company has filed a motion before the relevant courts in order to ensure the seamless establishment and operation of the competition in accordance with applicable laws. It is our duty as SCLs, the Super League Company board members, to ensure that all reasonable actions available to protect the interests of the competition and our stakeholders are duly taken, given the irreparable damage that would be suffered if for any reason we were deprived of the opportunity to form promptly the competition and distribute the proceeds of the grant. So they knew this was coming, and they've done work ahead of time to get ahead of it. Again, I think it's them calling a bluff, and I think UEFA and FIFA are going to have to give certain things to be able to find a middle ground here, and the clubs are going to end up winning. But I don't see them saying, there's no way the Portuguese league says, you know what, Benfica, fuck you. You go play over there. We don't need you over here. If Benfica alone was to leave the Portuguese league ends, regardless.
Economy.
If Porto leaves the Portuguese league ends. There's too much that is.
Sporting leaves, the Portuguese leagues thrives.
There's just too much.
Porto Benfica leaves, Sporting thrives.
There's just too much that's dependent on it. So I don't see that. I don't see the scenario being they have to play in one and not the other. I don't see a scenario where they play in the Super League and they can't play in the World Cup and they can't play here and they can't play there. Jay, do you think Benfica, would you be okay with Benfica taking part in this? And if not, why? And if yes, why?
It's basically what Bill said. I don't agree to it. I don't want it. It's just going to ruin. It's going to ruin like our rivalries. It's going to ruin like we're not going to have the Benfica Porto rivalry anymore. Like we're not going to have. Instead, we're going to have Benfica, maybe Arsenal or Tottenham, because those are going to be like the lower teams in that league. Like I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't feel right. I don't want it, and it's going to ruin the Portuguese league, and I don't appreciate it. That's just my opinion.
I'm going to ask you, and Jay, feel free to chime in here, but you guys are probably the bigger NFL fans of the five of us. A-Rod says Super League's trying to be like the NFL, and I've seen a lot of references to American sports and the American sports hierarchy in comparison to what they're trying to create here with the Super League. Do you see similarities? And do you think that it could function in the same way that American sports does?
Are they gonna have a salary cap?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's then
it
doesn't
gonna
work.
It's not gonna work that way. Then it's gonna be the richer teams. It's gonna be like baseball, Mike. You can even go into that. It's gonna be like the Yankees, Dodgers, Sox. Like those teams are gonna have like the best players, and the Kansas City Royals and the Baltimore, like, you know what I mean? Those younger, like Tampa Bay Rays, like you're gonna have to like get a foundation, get your youth, like develop your players that way, because you're not gonna be able to afford a Mookie Betts or, you know what I mean, like a big high paying baseball player. That's how I feel like it's going to be more like the MLB over the NFL. And he also brought up the Canadian Football League. The Canadian Football League has been going on for 60-some years, and they still work, and they still, like, it's not the biggest league in the world, but the XFL was freaking WWE, something that Vince McMahon to try to do, but that was something stupid. But like the Canadian Football League, it's a league that still runs today. And I mean, I don't think the NFL is a good comparison to this. I think the Major League, like baseball, is probably a better comparison, in my opinion.
No, I think the comparison I can see where he's coming from comparing it to the NFL, where like the NFL teams don't have to worry about relegation, right? They don't have to worry about putting a good product out there. These owners collect their money and have a shit team out there every year, and they don't really care, right?
That's baseball.
It's the same for the NFL. It's the same for the NFL, right? Like you have teams that are always the Jets are always at the bottom of the.
But Bill, there's a difference in the NFL. Every single team has a salary cap. You can't go beyond it. There's ways to go around it, but there's a cap.
That's just incompetent ownership.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in this, it's going to be you're going to spend. You don't think as much. You don't think so? These 12 teams are in it every year. They don't have to worry about putting a good product out there. These owners are just collecting a paycheck every year. Do you think Arsenal, the Tottenham, right now, Man U's in second place, but they're in Europa League. Why are they automatically put into this Super League? Going forward, if they have a shit year in the EPL, they're automatically put into the Super League. They don't have to worry about not going to the Super League because they're automatically in it because they're a founder. I get that.
Right? These guys don't have to worry about shit. They're in the Super League. They're going to be collecting that extra money every year.
Thanks, A-Rod.
That's
Oscar.
actually very true. The Jets
Dude,
are
I'm going to mute you. Don't say those things. Oscar, you're thinking over there. What's Sweet Toddy whispering in your ear?
No, she hates it. She's already shit on the Galo 3 times. No, but dude, this I still need to see more. I really hope it's kind of like putting pressure on UEFA to change the rules and stop being corrupt, because they are corrupt, and I hate the fact that they're corrupt. You can tell by, like, even FIFA is corrupt the way they pick the World Cup, home or like how they picked Qatar for the 2022.
Yep.
So, like, that kind of stuff has to change, because obviously there's a lot of money involved in these FIFA and UEFA in the pockets that they're not getting distributed to the teams. And I believe these teams, like you guys said, they are the money bringers. They bring the money to the views. They bring everything to the table, right? So they bring pressure on UEFA to change the policies, and FIFA as well. And if they don't, then they create this league. And I hope it's a contract between them all saying, listen, let's do this for 1 year, and then let's see what they do and come back to normal. I really can't, because right now, I mean, I wouldn't mind Benfica them doing this for 1 year and Benfica going to Champions League and winning our Champions League. You know what I mean?
Hey, I just want to say one thing. I want to say one thing. João Miguel's comment about the New York Knicks being the most valuable team in the country. Kenny knows which team is the most valuable team in the country. It's his Dallas Cowboys. Just want to put that out there.
He probably.
Yeah, if they did this in NFL.
But I'll tell you this though, I wouldn't, if they do this Super League, I would want a salary cap, because then everything is even. The playing field.
They won't agree to that.
I know, I get that, but I'm just saying, that's what I would like. I would like, if they do something like that, then I would be like, all right, you can only spend this much money on contracts and all that.
Then what's the difference?
And go from there, and then it would be like the NFL. Because right now, the way that they're doing it, it's baseball. And baseball is probably the sport that's going down the most in this country, in my opinion. It used to be America's sport, and now it's football is. Now it's
pastime. It is America's pastime.
It's not competitive. You need competition, and without salary cap, it's not competitive. It's
and I understand that it'll never happen, but I would like for that to happen, because if they're creating this league to make it,
you already have that in Champions League.
I'm just saying, but why not put a salary cap? Be like, yo, you only have this much money to spend.
There isn't. They tried that with financial fair play, and there's loopholes through it.
Yeah, and
that's why they got rid of it. Yeah, they're getting rid of it, right? So there's ways around it.
No, they'll never do that, because the owners won't agree to it. And if you're going to do it for the Super League, then why don't you just say, then why don't they do it for the domestic leagues too?
Because I don't think they'll ever do that, no matter what. Period.
Exactly.
Like I said,
so if you're not going, if you never had it,
but I would feel like it would be a more competitive league, because now you can, Real Madrid's going to get the players that they want. Barcelona is probably going to get the players, but Tottenham's not going to be able to afford. I don't think Tottenham or Arsenal are going to be able to afford the same players that Barca and Real can. I don't think so. I think
I thought Barca was in the ruins. I was financial corrupt.
They can.
Dude,
they are.
They're also they actually passed, they're the most valuable team in the world right now. They passed everybody this year. They went up 20% overall.
Dude, no matter how much they have money. There's no bank that's going to say no to Manchester United, to Real Madrid, to Barcelona. They know they're going to get their investment back.
So to piggy off of that, right, Mike? So, in my opinion, I'm open to the idea. I'm open to the idea if we can still do the domestic leagues, right? I don't. If it's like, oh, you got to choose one or the other, then yeah, I'd say I don't want Benfica to do it. But assuming that the Super League is just it's a separate league. It's games played during the middle of the week, just like Champions League games are, right? Then I'm totally fine with it. And I'm open to the idea.
Wait. So the Super League, do you play the normal Campeonato, the EPL? So Manchester United will play both EPL and then go to the Super League and play in the week during the week. So they're not creating. They're not creating.
This would be replacing the Champions League
for the big clubs.
For the big clubs, right? There could still be a Champions League.
I think the Champions League will basically be like the Europa League. And the Super League will basically be the top of the pyramid. That's what they want to do, but the FAs don't want to do that because they're saying if you either play over there, you play over here.
Yeah, you have to stay under the UEFA umbrella.
Correct. But think about it this way, and right. So say they come to agreement that says you can play in domestic league, you can play in the Super League. They meet in the middle and find kind of a middle ground there, right? Benfica gets invited to the Super League. The money that gets generated from there, right? 100 million, 200 million, whatever the case may be. Porto gets invited to the Super League. They get that money. That, I think, right, the argument of kind of diluting the Portuguese league still remains, right?
Because then those three teams, you never get a family count going there to make those 200 million. So the three teams will still, well, depends if Sporting probably will never get invited either. But the two teams, Benfica, Porto, they'll be the monopoly of Portugal even more than what they are right now.
But it is already the same. What's the difference?
Is, right? But we just lost to Gil Vicente. Do you think if we make 200 million and we come back to the Portuguese league and we spend those 200 million?
Your argument all season has been, your argument all season, we spent 100 million, we're in third place.
According to Mike, we had to. Well, we think we were to be. We would sell Ruben Diaz if we made the 200 million.
It doesn't matter. We spent 100 million.
We wouldn't sell any of our players.
And we still in third place.
Any of those players.
We would have nasty players on our team right now.
We would have money to pay for those nasty players. Benfica would be like in Portugal, what Man City is in EPL, or like they wouldn't
have to worry about qualifying for Champions League every year.
Our league would be indifferent. The top two will still be the top two.
Dude, we're fighting for third.
In our league.
We're fighting for third.
Okay, once in like one in every 10 years.
Yeah, and Sporting fights for fourth every year.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying is what's the difference? Our league would still be the same. It's going to be a battle for two, maybe three.
Right.
Like every other
now,
year. Except once in 10 years, Sporting might win it. Or once in 20 years. What's the difference in our league? Our league would still literally be the same thing. It'd be like Pedro likes to say, it's a 50-50 league. It's the same. It'd be no different for the Portuguese league, except that Benfica actually has a chance to make more money and build a better squad to maybe win a fucking European title.
Well, if there's no Champions League, they'll win it.
There you go. So now you even have a better chance. But Mike, by the way, just to add one thing, right? Let's not, like you mentioned, JP Morgan is already is willing to finance this. So like there is no doubt in anyone's mind that if these clubs were to do this, they already have the banking from the $6 billion that they're willing to put up on this league. They know that these clubs are the moneymakers. They will bring in the fucking money. So
Kenny, there's no one's saying that the money won't go there because we all know the money's going straight there. Like
no, but people are saying, "Oh, this won't work. This won't work." Oh, it will work. Trust me, this will work.
If it comes down to it, but it's going to ruin soccer. In my opinion, it's going to ruin it.
I think we don't know the full details to say that it will ruin soccer.
The best thing about soccer is like you have fans. I'm just saying the thing I like about soccer is like it always like we would never have a story like Leicester City. We wouldn't have stories like these little young teams or Ajax going to the semis, beating off Juventus and Briamo or whoever they beat that year to go in the semis in Champions League. Wouldn't have stories like that. It would just be these same 12 teams that would be the talk about soccer. But that'll be all everyone would be talking about is just these 12 teams. That's it.
But even now you don't get that often.
Can someone name me the last Champions League winners from the last, let's call it 5 years? I bet you there's probably, 2 or 3 of them? They're always the same winners. They're always the same Final Fours, most likely. Like, it's the same fucking teams in the Champions League semifinals every single year. It's a fight between the top two.
Two of them are not even in it.
Okay, but it's the top, like I said, you're going to have an anomaly somewhere, right? But it's the same top 10 teams that are always in these finals.
You want to watch the same games over and over. That's what's going to happen. It's the same teams playing the same teams over and over.
But in a different format.
It's going to get old.
Oh, it's going to get old. It's going to get old.
In 2 years.
Do you guys get old of watching the Premier League like everybody else?
Yeah, but everybody competes in the Premier League.
The game's on.
But there's a threat of relegation and promotion and earning your spot in the Champions League or in the Europa League.
Bill, I understand that.
These teams are handed their spot. There's no threat of them not being in the Super League. and you're going to watch
Bill,
the same games over and over.
Bill,
in the Super League.
this is the initiative, right? This is the initiative. The founders are. I think it's only an 8-year thing or whatever. I think there's a limit to this contract that they're putting out there. It's not like to infinity. It's this things can get adjusted. It's just like the in football when they do the tank. What do they call it? Every 10 years they do the
CBA.
The CBA, right? There's a CBA agreement. I'm sure that there's an agreement every 8 years. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there's a limit to this first cycle, right?
There's always like 10 years. You can go on. You can.
They can expand this, just like they've changed Champions League over time. This is just going to be a new initiative, and over time it could expand into maybe even a bigger league, and maybe there's going to be different rules, and maybe now there's threat of relegation. There's no more founders, right? Like, what's to say
if we have no clue? We're going off of the information we have now.
No, listen,
the information we have now is these 12 teams are guaranteed their spot every year.
Hey, mechanic, let's think like this. Tottenham right now with this tie in the last, they're in 6th place or 7th, whatever it is. They don't even qualify for Europe or Champions League, right? They're out.
Well, they're already in Europe because they got final of the Carling Cup. They got Europa League.
All right. So that's just an example. Say they didn't get to the final of the Carling Cup. They don't even qualify. Liverpool, like same thing. If they don't even qualify to be in Europe. The fun thing about Champions League in Europe is Everton can go to Champions League, right? And not Liverpool because they deserve it this year, right? West Ham is in 3rd place or 4th place. They can go to Champions League, right?
What's stopping that to still happen with Super League? If Everton wins the league, Liverpool can get in there.
Liverpool is there, even though they're in 6th place.
It doesn't matter where they
taking the
finish
risk up front. They're the founding club. They're the ones taking.
What risk?
Oh my god!
There is no risk to this for this team.
Shit, Bill's
no risk.
They're putting their reputation on this league. They're putting their reputation.
Because
they've already ruined their reputation by saying they're going to make this league. There's no risk. They don't care about the reputation of the club. They do not care about the reputation of the club. These owners do not give a shit about
I guarantee you these clubs will make it out. These clubs will always be the main clubs.
I'm not saying they won't be. They don't care about the reputation.
So how will they ruin their reputation?
There's no risk for them in this.
They're still going to be There's plenty of risk. They could get out of the FA. They could be banned from plenty of shit. What do you mean there's no risk? They're taking a chance to start something new. There's risk. They're risking leaving FA. They're risking their players being banned from international play. Of course, there's risk. They might still go through it. Maybe they are playing chicken with UEFA, but they're taking a risk. They're the teams that started this. So they're trying to fight against the suits. There's risk. There's risk here, guys. Yes, if they come out on top, they've put a product together that they fought for, and they're going to benefit from it. But they are taking a risk of changing the fucking paradigm. What do you mean there's no risk?
Someone said it. $6 billion. It's no risk.
That's a risk.
It's no risk at all.
Yeah.
You're gonna get paid. You're gonna get paid.
A-Rod says, "Don't wake up the kids, Bill."
I'm in the basement. They're good.
Guys, there's a lot of screaming between you guys. You three especially. I like it. I'm out of this today. I like being on the background on that.
All right, me and Kenny will be golfing next week. We're good.
Hey, I think it's fun. I'm open to the idea. I'm willing to give it a try. I'm not going to shut it down. Plus, again, we all don't know the full details. This shit could change next week. It could all be a different fucking story. But I know, but I'm open for it.
In order for them to present something like this, I think it's like, they haven't really developed, or they haven't let us know exactly the extent of this, extent of that. If you want to start a league like this, I think you have to write everything down how this is going to work.
Yeah,
when
they expect it to start, they're saying like when feasibly possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the problem is, I feel like they leaked, like this came out.
Yes.
Before they wanted it to come out, and now both sides are kind of scrambling to try to kind of.
It was
I think they timed it on purpose. I think they timed it perfectly.
It was a little unexpected. It came out of the blue.
It was correct, because they hadn't rumored it. It was like it came up rumored yesterday, and then they released it, and then the clubs released it. But I don't think that it was a coincidence, the timing that it came out. But I also think that
I also think it's convenient that Perez just got elected.
Yeah, no kidding.
This comes out,
and I'll tell you that he'll be. Someone said it. He'll be exactly like Roger Goodell. Like he'll try to get as much money possible to the clubs.
But Kenny, quickly, just to
Bayern-
touch on your thing about the risk, right? I agree that these clubs are taking a risk. One, because they released this yesterday.
I'm on your bus.
All right, here we go. We got rid of no. Fuck the train.
Hey, the train's gonna fucking derail again.
We're on a bus. No, we're on a bus now. Fuck the train. We got rid of the train. We're on a bus.
A yellow school bus. You guys on a yellow?
Yeah, yellow.
I'll take a yellow.
The short ones.
Short bus. They're taking the risk in the sense of like, for example, they're announcing that on Friday, the teams that are involved will be kicked out of the current European competitions. That's a risk, right?
I don't think they'll do that. That's fucking stupid on their part.
But it's a risk.
It's a risk.
They're willing to take. They're willing to risk it.
But they didn't know these risks before they joined.
You don't think that they knew this?
Yeah,
I think they knew it was going to ruffle some feathers. You don't
think that these clubs, multi-billion-dollar industry, that these clubs have. They were talking with JPMC to fund this, and you don't think that they have the people in place to look at the contracts and say, listen, what are my contracts and what does the fine print say between me and the FA and me and UEFA, and what are we likely going to have to run into because of this?
Right, no, and you don't think the answer was answered, they don't have a right to kick you guys out of here or there or there? I think those answers were answered before they even said yes.
But just there has to be... UEFA and FIFA have to have something to leverage for them to come out and say what they say.
Kenny, now you're saying maybe, but you don't think $1 billion person, $1 billion club has the smarts to have a lawyer and ask those questions before they sign the contract?
Yeah, but
if they don't already excluding a player out of international or UEFA or whatever it is, you don't think those questions are asked before they sign a contract?
I'll tell you this: there's a lot of Portuguese players on those teams.
What contracts have been signed? What contracts?
The contract between the Super League and those clubs, they've been signed.
Has it all been signed?
Yes, they've been signed.
They're still waiting for 3 more.
The founders have signed the contracts. They're signed.
Yeah.
All right. So before they sign the contract, nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, I like $3 million. Let me sign the contract." No, I think that those questions were asked. Is UEFA able to do this to us? Are we able to play in the competition even if we join this league? In international FIFA, are we able to play in the Euros and the World Cup if this happens? I'm sure those questions are asked. Or else, what kind of lawyers they have?
So, Oscar, hypothetical, they say, yeah, you guys got nothing to worry about. But if you're UEFA, you're gonna fucking fight as hell to make their fucking life a living hell. So they probably said, you know what? They have nothing they have no leg to stand on. You guys can do it. You don't have to worry about it. But UEFA's still going to make it difficult. They knew that was going to happen.
Right. A club going into this contract, like a Manchester United, Manchester City, going into this contract, before signing this contract, I'm pretty sure they felt they had no risk. If they had a possibility of those players not playing in UEFA Champions or the World Cup, I'm pretty sure none of those clubs would sign.
Dude, my last thing to say about this is it can't be a Superliga without Bayern, PSG. Like if those teams aren't in it, then this league is bogus.
There's no way that those teams don't join.
I'm just saying.
I can't see a scenario where I know that they're playing hardball. I feel like they're trying to play like the nice guys, and PSG has a few conflicts of interest. I don't see those teams, those massive teams, saying, you know what, we see all these other big clubs going out there. They're going to be making shit tons of money, but you know what, we want to be the nice guys. We want to take the high road. We're going to just sit over here and do our own thing and let those guys fucking do what they want to. Do you guys think that's going to happen? I don't.
You're putting too much power. But the thing is, you guys want to go take the power away from FIFA and UEFA, but the power is all going to these 12 teams.
The clubs already have the power, Jay.
I don't think they have the power as much as you guys think they have the power. Like I get they have money and they have that, but they don't have these teams don't win always.
Really?
They're not always winning.
The power?
They're not always winning. Liverpool hasn't won since 2004, and they won last year.
But winning doesn't equal power, right? Like close the door now makes a comment here on YouTube. The British government has said that they will change. That's an interesting name, by the way.
I saw that.
The British government says they're willing to change the laws in order to prevent the English clubs from joining. The fact that they're looking to change the law tells you exactly what you need to know. Even though Arsenal hasn't won the Premier League since 2004, Tottenham hasn't won the fucking Premier League since like 1846, right? Like,
damn, they actually won it.
Like the fact that they're willing to go to these lengths tells you that these clubs have the power.
How
They don't only
ironic!
have the power locally, but they have it internationally.
How ironic that the British, the English are upset that their clubs are leaving UEFA to create their own league when with the whole Brexit thing going on, right? They wanted to leave the European Union, and
Dude,
the clubs want to do the same, and now
you
and
already
now
pissed off the Canadians. Now you're gonna piss off the British.
Well, I just
Seriously, dude.
think it's a little. I think it's a
Keep
little
going.
hypocritical. I think it's a little
No.
hypocritical.
I agree.
Hey,
agree.
what do you guys think about, like, we're just a bunch of like amateurs from watching the game from the TV, but we see a lot of these professionals soccer players. We see like all players that come out and are totally against this kind of shit. Totally against. So, and they have nothing to gain with this, do they? Like, but they're totally against it. They know the game. Like, what do you guys feel about? I haven't seen one coming out other than probably like somebody that's going to benefit from this, like Perez coming out and saying this is good. All of them have been, this is bad for the sport.
But there'll also be the ones that are supporting those teams eventually. Like, are you going to stop watching? If this happens, are you going to not watch it? Right, let me ask you this question.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
If this happens,
No, I'm going to watch it.
okay.
It's
But
like
if
watching the Champions League. It's the same shit.
but what I'm saying is, if this happens, right,
That
and you
same
have
argument goes the other way.
and you have a Manchester City Barcelona playing, and then on the other side you have a Leicester City versus West Ham, which one are you going to watch?
That's obviously that's not a no-brainer, but
we're
like
going to equally feed into the income that they're making, just like we equally feed in. If today you have a Tondela versus Paços Ferreira, and you have a Chelsea versus a Manchester City playing at the same time, which one are you going to watch? The Premier League, right? So just like we complain about the money and all this bullshit, we are contributing to the EPLs of the world being the EPL and the
And
money
Mike,
that they make.
And Mike, another thing, you're gonna watch what they broadcast on TV. You're gonna be able to find or be able to watch the Super League match over a bottom of the league team in domestically, because they're probably not going to broadcast those games anymore. That's going to be just local. You're not going to watch it overseas. The international games are going to be the Super League games, and those are the ones you're going to watch. The money's going to follow the Super League. These teams. I mean, we all know that. We all know.
I know.
That.
Dude, listen. I don't have a problem with the. I mean, I do have a problem with it because I think it's a monopoly. I think it's them trying to run the industry, right? I just don't. I think there should be a merit to get to a Champions League, and without a merit to get there, to be something given to them, guaranteed to them, is what pisses me off. That kills the sport. I like to have a merit. I don't like Liverpool being in sixth place and making this Super League. All right,
I agree.
I don't like that. There should be a merit. Should be a West Ham that's in fourth place. Why can't they get they're in fourth place? Well, it should be a merit thing when it comes to making the hierarchy.
And that's why Champions League. That's why Champions is Champions League. You need to earn to get there.
Just like, and I don't know shit about NFL, but just imagine Dallas makes the Super Bowl every year because they're the most followed team in the USA.
Yeah, but then you also that comparison
Totally
sucks
different.
because you have teams in the NFL that have a losing record and make it to the playoffs.
That's why I kind of don't agree that it's like the NFL, because the NFL is its own different animal. The Super League would be nothing.
It's
like
not.
that. You can't.
It's not going to be the NFL. I'm telling you, if there's one sport you're going to compare it to, it's baseball.
Whether you want to agree with it or not, the NFL is actually structured so that every team has the same opportunity to win every single year. There's the salary cap. The worst teams get the first round draft picks. Like every team, that's not the Super League, and that's never going to be Super League. Yes, the Super League is favored with the clubs that make the most money.
I was just making a comparison, not the leagues itself. I'm just saying a team that doesn't qualify for the playoffs makes the Super Bowl just because they're the most followed.
No,
like,
it doesn't work out.
When it comes to Liverpool, Liverpool is like the team that has all the fans in England, all right, and they're in sixth place, but they make the hierarchy because they're the most followed, because they have the following behind them.
But they've had consistency.
It should be a merit thing. You play like Leeds said it today on the field. Leeds against Liverpool, you have to play for it. Play it on the field to make the hierarchy, to make it to the top. Not because you have a lot of fans.
But they have done that, right? Manny says new UCL format has the same teams always qualifying. It's for the most part, it's the same.
No, it's not.
handful of teams.
But like
Dude,
you have to earn your spot to get there. Like you have to do something to get there. You have to come in 4th place. You have to come in 3rd place. You have to come in 1st and 2nd. In Portugal, you have to come in 1st and 2nd. 3rd place, you have to play a playoff game. Like you have to earn your spot. It's like what Oscar's saying. These teams are not earning shit. They're just we got money. We could get to go.
Leicester won it 3 years ago. Do you think they would have made that? They would have made the Super League?
Where they would have been one of the 5 that got invited.
No, that's the thing.
No, the 5. I'm thinking about the 12.
Right.
The 12.
Why would Leicester be? They won the fucking title once. Like
but they won. They're champions of it, and now they're in 3rd place.
Okay,
Mike,
why
would
would
hold on.
Mike, how many times you just said Tottenham won it? How many times?
Tottenham hasn't won a.
Okay, but Leicester's won it, but Tottenham has more merit because they have a brand new stadium because they have some cash.
I'm not disagreeing with you. They don't. But that's what I'm saying. There's money at play. That's the big factor here. Is the cash and the market.
All about the money.
Which richer get richer and the poor get poorer.
Who has a market? Well, correct. But it's like that today.
It is because guess what? Champions League. Why does the Premier League? Why does the Premier League get 5 spots?
Because they're the top league.
The UEFA professional.
Because
there's a system behind it, Kenny. There's a system on how many teams. I mean,
you qualify for those 5 spots.
The system, and you don't think that system's rigged too to benefit?
No, it's not. It's not because
you have to get. You have. It's all by results. It's all about It's all about the results you get.
So you don't think that having 5 spots, in the Premier League getting 5 spots, you have out of those 5 teams, you have more chances of getting more victories.
Wait, Ken, you're wrong. You're wrong at this. You know how the countries are ranked, right? So if you can Porto make a lot of points in Europe competition, they get more points. And sometimes they get three teams, and then if they keep going up, 4 teams, and they keep going up.
Now, let me ask you this. Portugal getting 2 spots, England getting 5 spots. Don't you think that a league with 5 spots has more opportunity to get more wins and more victories and getting further along than a country with only 2 spots?
But how do they get up there?
Of course, England's always... Of course...
They got up there somehow. They got up. They
started that way because it's the top league in the world. It started that way. So it's just like Spain, Italy, and France. They have the highest because they have the most spots in there. If you have more spots, of course you're going to get more victories. You just have more opportunity to get more victories than a Portugal with only 2 spots.
Isn't Portugal supposed to pass?
Yeah, you're in the middle of the table. In the middle of the table, you're gonna fluctuate.
No, Portugal and France. Portugal and France are 5 and 6.
When is England ever going to lose spots from first place?
A long time.
Because of course, because they have 5 spots. They have more opportunity with 5 teams in there to get more points.
They also have somebody in the Champions League final almost every year.
But they also make more money than all the other clubs.
Exactly. Because those clubs, dude, you're literally answering my whole point. It's already rigged to start with.
I still don't get it. I don't know. Okay, that's your point. But what we're trying to say is this was already got built into that. Like these teams were dominating in the beginning. Like they didn't just get 5 teams right off the bat.
Correct. There was a progressive thing.
Exactly.
Progressive.
Exactly.
They deserve it.
You just think that they were handed 5 spots.
The Premier League. Right I don't know the history of like when Champions League started, but I'm pretty sure that the Premier League.
90s.
The Premier League probably someone had to start in first. I'm sure the Premier League started in first.
Yeah, I mean,
or did the ranking just let's just test this out and see who ranked first? No, the ranking started with the top 5 clubs or the top 5 leagues in the world. It had to start somewhere. So they clearly had the most spots from the very beginning. It wasn't a ranking.
It was also the original format was also just the champions of each league.
Okay.
And then it progressively got better.
But they always, I'm pretty sure that the top 5 leagues in the world always had the most spots, and then everyone else kind of battles for the next couple of seeds.
Well, we've gone past 90 minutes. We're already into 15th minute of stoppage time. There's been a lot of substitutions.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yep.
You've been talking slow show.
to Oscar's point about past players. I agree. I don't think there's a lot of people on board, right? I think I'm in the very few that are open to the idea. But I also think that a lot of people are afraid of change. Like they're not willing to let's give it a shot. They're just like, no, everything's fine the way it is. Like it's fine. But like for me, you want to think of it, the clubs want a monopoly. Well, UEFA has a monopoly on this whole fucking thing, and I
think it's corrupt. And they should change that.
And I agree with you. Yeah, and I think that should be changed. And I think this might be something to shake it up a little bit. Let's and people are afraid of that, and I think that's why there's a lot of opposition. But I know I'm silly. I like to be silly on the show. It's fine.
Kenny pissed off our neighbors from the north, and now he's pissing people off from across the pond.
I told you.
It's fine.
He doesn't understand English.
Listen.
Stick to North America.
I'm pretty sure the English football culture is the same everywhere else in the world.
No, they tackle and they don't cry as much.
Well, as I anticipated, it was going to be an interesting conversation.
Dar wanted to be made fun of if he cried in England. Nobody would care for him if he cried there.
Were you saying Ronaldo cried in England? He still was cheered on.
Yeah.
Right, he cried.
But you can't talk about Ronaldo with Oscar. You can't talk about him.
Yeah. Fuck Ronaldo.
It ended up being a conversation as I anticipated. It ended up being me and Kenny versus the three of you, which I anticipated.
I will say this.
But I agree a lot with your points. I agree with a lot of Oscar, Bill, and Tank's points.
I agree. I can see both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I can too. I just think it will ruin soccer. It would just
agree. But I think what we see today is going to change significantly in terms of what the final project ends up being.
I love how Manny brings up Benfica scoring against Liverpool. You won't bring up when Benfica smashed me and you at the lose 2-0.
Because he's a Man U guy.
Gonna go straight for Liverpool.
I do. Let's have Mikey wrap this up.
All right. A-Rod says Billy's the MVP, and I left a comment in the chat that I didn't show yet because I wanted to end on it. But before I bring it up, thanks to everyone in the chat. There's a couple of new faces, a couple of new names, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different views. If you haven't already, follow us on Facebook. We're on Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And before we sign off,
are we doing predictions at all or no?
That closed the doors a burner account. I feel like that's Kevin Durant or someone. I feel like that's someone trying to
That's Mike. That's Mike with his Mac.
I feel like that's Jay. Maybe that's Jay Silva.
Might be Jay.
Yeah.
Jean Miguel says Billy exploded and then went radio silent. And then A-Rod's comment.
He left the chair for a little while. Somebody pulled his away.
No, he went to go pee. He was sending us.
Okay, read the private chat, Oscar. You'll see it.
Hold on. A-Rod has a question, or had a comment in here. Said, I'm going to watch it and tell Paul Pereira to chupa.
Yeah, because Sparta will never be part of this league, no matter how many times they win.
I thought that was good. He said, it's not a burner account. I have videos uploaded. So check it out.
I want to know who this is.
Close the door now. Quickly, predictions. Bill, start with you. Benfica, Portimonense Benfica on Thursday, I believe it is.
We're away, right?
Yep.
We're losing. My first loss prediction.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be my chance to catch up.
We're not losing 2 in a row. We're not losing 2 in a row. Come on, guys.
I'll say one. 2-1 Benfica.
I'm going 2-0 Benfica.
1-1.
Oh, I was gonna do 1-1, but I'm gonna say 2-0 Benfica.
Oh, that's a big difference. Could have gone 2-2 or 0-0.
Well, I need to no, because I need a gain. I've lost points. I need a gain, so I need to do something different. So
Hey,
I can't
by the way,
tie.
never mind. I'll save this for next time.
I'm going to say 1-0 for Benfica. And he said, or he or she, I'm a Crystal Palace fan. That's all you need to know. Well, so they support the Eagles too, just like us, just a different Eagle.
Yeah.
Isn't Crystal Palace the team that wait wasn't it the Manchester City final the last fucking 5 minutes that they took the title from Manchester United? Wasn't it Crystal Palace?
No, that was against QPR.
Oh, it was QPR.
Maybe Crystal Palace will get invited to the Super League.
Yeah.
Dude, you're not making any friends here.
Who cares? It's not even a real person. They fucking close the door now. Who the fuck do I care? You're gonna come on here and make comments. You don't even have the real. It's not even you. What the hell do I care?
Guy, just
what? Computer keyboard warriors over here. I don't care. What the hell do I care? Crystal Palace sucks. Who's Crystal Palace?
Well,
they put the Palace in the Crystal.
Thanks to everyone in the chat again. Don't forget to check us out on the various platforms. We will be back next week with the English podcast and Wednesday with the Portuguese podcast. Boys, it was fun as always, and we'll catch you guys next week. See ya.
See you
All right,
later,
my
guys.
friends. Take it easy, Benfica!